make it to our dock, and the troopers and the deputies and EMS and everybody, they're still doing CPR on the dock. But I do have to live with the fact that I put my family in a situation where my kids witness someone lose their life. And I don't like that. What happened to all your green grass?
It's burnt up, I think.
Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and as you can see, we are at the Lakehouse. We're going to be down here for a couple days. I'm telling you, it is still not ready. We hope to have this place ready to rent out on Airbnb by June 1st, and here we are last week in July, and it's not ready. It's close. And I will say, the closer we get to finishing up on the house, the harder it's going to be to rent it out. It's still the plan. We still plan to rent the place out, but we're just tidying up some loose ends. Still got some decorations to hang. I really need to bring a power washer down here and pressure wash the whole building. But the birds have decided DJ's chairs are the place to hang out while nobody's home. And the porch is completely covered in bird poop. So I'm going to wash those off real quick. I don't know what happened over the last couple weeks, but we went from living in a tropical rainforest to the grass is brown and dry and dying. It's so strange. I'm not complaining because it's not raining. It rained all summer. And I feel like summer came and went in a flash. Like, the kids are going to start back to school in less than 2 weeks. And while we did get to do a lot of things and have a lot of fun this summer, it flew by. I'm not ready for it to end. So we're going to hang out down here for a couple days. We've got some friends coming. Houston's going to be here. Emily's going to be here. Weston's not. He had to work. He didn't want to take off work. But I think DJ's sister, Katie's going to stay back and take care of all the animals and hang out at the house while we're gone from there. But we brought the boat. And we're just going to hang out and have a good time. Try to do some work in between playing, I guess. I do have one major upgrade to show you guys. And that is, we got the panels put up on the inside of the wall. Obviously, we didn't do that part right there because of the door, and I didn't want to reframe and do all that. So we just painted it. But we did the interior walls just like what we did in the merch building. So DJ loves her black. You guys know that. But white walls, kind of, you might notice a theme with DJ. She's a black and white kind of girl. There's no gray area. Black and white. Except her truck. She does like her tan truck. But anyways, things are coming along on the Lakehouse. Neighbors are building houses very fast. If you'll remember, just a couple weeks ago, there was nothing there. There's going to be somebody living in that one soon. Looks a little different out here at the lake when it's not the 4th of July weekend. It's not chaos. It's just a nice, calm weekend, I think. I mean, it's still Friday. We'll see. Saturday may be a lot more busy.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, what?
Here, Emily, throw this up underneath there. Just
Not the greatest boat ramp in the world. Got a really back way in to get this boat in. All right, Houston, don't let us down. You got this, buddy.
Yeah, we're not turning
Surf-
around all day long.
Surf a little better than you did the other day
I definitely
with your Nana.
It shouldn't be too hard.
Shouldn't be hard to beat that, huh? Strange looking taco recipe you got there. Whoa, you're close. What are you making?
Queso.
That's cream cheese.
This is how I make my queso. Sausage, burger sausage, cream cheese, and rotel. That's it.
Look at that sky. Just barely missed the sunset. Man, what a beautiful evening. Neighborhood's quiet. It's a little different than it was on the 4th of July, huh?
Yeah, there'd be fireworks there, and there.
Just people everywhere too, huh?
Yeah, there'd be singers over there. 2 points, 14.
Little light entertainment this morning. Look at that wobbly leg. Oh, come on, somebody point the camera at the animal. Whoop, there it is. Coffee in bed, watching a little YouTube. Emily, day 2. Day 2. You said you're surfing all day today, right?
I never said that.
You got it. You had it figured out yesterday, kind of.
I'm more of an evening surfer.
Well, we're gonna be here all day because we're cooking hamburgers and hot dogs on the lake. My truck just started. I guess I better get in it and drive, huh? Houston, where's your life jacket? I'm not getting yelled at. Day 2 on the water. Pretty much all basically professional surfers now. Is that right, Blake?
Yeah.
Once you stand up, it's not too bad, huh?
Yeah.
Is there any competition? What can we compete at in surfing? Your goofy dad thinks he can do a 360.
Yeah.
The rest of us, yeah, he really can't. We're not gonna tell him that. We'll just say, you look cute out there trying. All right, Emily's going first today. Yeah, she's gonna show us all how to surf. A couple 100,000 people want to see you surf. Like, do a flip or something. I don't know. Do a 180 mobile twist inverted dunk slam. I don't know surfer terms. Sorry.
An update on a developing story from yesterday where 2 people were struck by lightning while on Lake Texoma. According to KGAF out of Gainesville, one of the victims, 32-year-old Vanessa Zimmer of Cook County, died from her injuries as a result of being struck. She was initially transported to a Marshall County hospital in critical condition. The strike.
Okay, it's time to chat. This video took a hard turn. This weekend took a hard turn. And I don't even really know what to say other than a few years ago we shot a video where we sat and talked about the day we almost lost our family in a tragic accident on a side-by-side. And here we sit again. It's actually the next day. took a long time to process what happened yesterday. So we come down to our lake house and took the boat out. We're going to spend the weekend here. It's 2 families. It's us, Houston and Emily, and then our friends and their son. And now Emily, one of her buddies, came yesterday, and first day on the water, everything was great. Yesterday we went out and it was blue sky, not a cloud in sight. And we were out surfing on the boat, doing what we do. And Lake Texoma is a massive lake. It's a 180,000 acre lake, roughly. And so when you're out surfing, you're trying to look for calm water, trying to stay out of the wind. Well, that was fun. Trying to stay out of the wind.
There's wind here, and we don't have a tripod.
We're making do, okay? We're making do. Trying to stay out of the wind. And, you know, you end up several miles from the boat ramp, and we decided to take a break, hang out for a while. This lake there's a huge string of islands. It's just like a big sandy beach island everywhere. Like there's probably a dozen different islands in kind of a string. And so we decided we're going to hang out for a little while. I brought an ice chest full of hamburger patties and buns and hot dogs and a portable grill and charcoal. And we were actually going to tie up on a beach and spend the whole evening on the lake and cook out. And it was going to make for some cool content. It was going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. And we pull up to the sheltered side of this island because it was windy, and this lake is full of big boats. And when the big boats go by, they will knock your boat off anchor in a heartbeat and throw 4-foot tall waves. I hate freaking big waves, boats that make big waves. Anyways.
Hold the phone. No, take off.
So we pull up on the protected, sheltered side of this island. Oh, here comes the wind again. And we're just hanging out. And it kind of clouds up a little bit. So DJ had popped off and said there's going to come a monsoon.
Yeah,
on
when
us.
we left here, it's beautiful, sun's out, and I'm like, yeah, it's beautiful right now, and I bet we get out there and then a monsoon comes, because every time this summer we've gone out, we've got rained on.
Yeah.
Not anything, not like a storm necessarily, but...
Well, and there was a slight chance of rain in the evening, I think, but nothing, like a 20% chance of rain in the evening. So we're starting to watch the clouds and like, oh man, it might blow in and rain a little bit. Not enough to really push you off the water. So we had Emily get her phone out and pull up the radar, and we looked at the weather. We looked at the radar, and there was some, you know, when you're looking at a radar map, you've got really light green clouds, and then the darker they get, the darker they get, the more severe they are. It was all just the lightest colored green. Little,
it's like went over. It looked like a little shower.
Little rain shower that was going to pass by us, and it was going to be annoying for 10 minutes and be gone. Mm-hmm. So we really didn't think a whole lot about it. And then it was like instantly too late. So we're several miles from the boat ramp, and we see this storm kind of brewing, you know, like, oh man, it looks a little bit worse than what the radar indicated. And I would say within about 5 minutes, it instantly changed. It's like the storm came in and hit that lake, and when it hit the lake, it just exploded, and it stalled. That was the problem. It was you could see it on radar. It was one little storm over a portion of the lake, just happened to be where we were, but it wasn't severe.
Yeah, people are still like out playing ball.
Yeah, these islands are covered with people. There's probably scattered on all these different islands. There's 500 boats scattered out across all these islands, and people get out on the islands and play games and cook and have a good time and hang out. And we were just kind of tied up out in the water, kind of staying out of the wind, and decided, well, the storm's a little bit bigger than what we thought, but if you wait too long, it's best to just ride the storm out, because this lake is so big and there's so much boat traffic, it gets kind of dangerous out in the open water in high winds. So we thought the storm would just blow by, until it didn't, and it just exploded on top of us. And all of a sudden, the thunder and lightning hit, and that's the scary part. I can handle a little rain.
Yeah, rain is fine.
It started lightning in every direction around us, just instantly. And listen, I know everybody's going to say you got to watch the weather, and when it's going to be when there's going to be lightning and within 50 miles, you got to get off the lake. I totally understand that. There was no lightning in the distance. We've dealt with weather our whole life. Obviously, everybody has, but we've been on, I grew up on the lakes, and I've been on lakes my whole life, and you can see lightning coming from a distance. I don't mind being on the water when a rain cloud comes over. Lightning, you got to watch out for. So instantly, it goes from a little light shower to a monsoon thunderstorm. And it was way too dangerous to pull the anchors and try to get the boat out of there. And even if we could get out of there and get across the lake, there would be a line of 50 boats trying to load their boats at the same time. So basically, we waited too long. Waited too long to leave. And that's probably our fault, but it didn't look severe at all until the lightning hit. And then it started lightning in every direction around us. And when you're stuck in a boat on a lake, that's a scary place to be. And in an instant, it went from a little bit of a hairy, scary situation to less than about 30 yards from us, a lightning bolt hit the island and hit 2 people. And I'm not exaggerating. They were closest from here to the other side of our road right here from us.
I was just watching them play ball.
We felt it, to say the least.
Yeah.
They were playing some little game where I don't even know what it's called. Kids play it. But it's like a little mini trampoline. You take a ball and you swat it down and it bounces up.
Yeah,
it's like the opposite of hacky sack. But in an instant, just boom, one loud thing. And I look up on the island and I can see people scattering and running. And I only saw at the time one person. I instantly jumped off the boat and ran. And by the time I made it to the island, because we're a little wet, through the water, but there were 2 people on the ground. One was getting up, and I ran up. By the time I got there, there were probably, 8 or 9 other people surrounding this lady that were starting CPR. And in 14 years in law enforcement, there was a lot of panic going on, let's say that. Most of these folks were probably a little too intoxicated to even know how to do CPR, if they knew how to do CPR. But lightning is crashing all around us. I've got our kids, our friends' kids, everybody on the boat, and instantly a crowd forms around this lady, and there's too many people not knowing what they're doing. But I pretty much instantly knew she wasn't going to make it. She was gone, let's say that. But everyone picked her up, grabbed towels, picked her up, and got her. Fortunately, somehow, it's just crazy how the world works, but on the other side of the island was a state trooper in his boat. And it was a guy that I went to patrol school with, a guy I've known since 2006. And he just happened to be cruising by, I guess. So
I wondered, because I had Katie call 911, and apparently I thought it was really fast, but someone else had already called and said people were en route, and so I didn't know how he got there that fast.
Right. Well, I just think he was right there close.
Yeah.
It wasn't a response. He was just there. And so they loaded him on his boat, and he takes off. And he's in a much larger boat than what we have. Mm-hmm. So we gather everybody up and start pulling the anchors, and the wind just got worse and worse, and lightning all around us. And I'm telling you, was there 9 of us on the boat? 8 of us on the boat, and they're all hunkered down as low as they can get down in the boat, and Jared and I are trying to figure out what to do, and the boat anchors can't hold in that kind of wind, even though we're sitting in between 2 islands.
It was spinning. We had the one anchor on the front,
yeah,
and it just started spinning.
And it just kept getting worse and worse, and I finally told Jared, I'm like, we've got to get out of here. We've got to get out of here. We probably tried to ride the wind out another 10 minutes with lightning crashing all around us. And it was just a rough situation. So finally we pulled anchors and headed for land. And it's a couple miles back to our boat ramp where our dock was. And just so happened, we make it maybe a mile. Yeah. And we're out of the storm. I mean, we sit in the middle of this storm thinking the whole lake was getting hammered. We make it a mile and we're out of the storm. The waters were much more calm.
No, the sun was shining.
The sun was out. Yeah, well, you could still see the island behind us getting hammered, and where we were at was not bad. But it was moving towards us still, so we make it back to our dock. And as we're coming up to our dock, you can see emergency lights everywhere. I mean, everybody under the sun had made it there. And, you know, it's probably by now 30 minutes after the lightning strike. We make it to our dock, and the troopers and the deputies and EMS and everybody, they're still doing CPR on the dock. Now, once you start CPR, you're not supposed to stop until you get to a facility or somewhere that can call a death. So in my brain, I'm thinking, well, they're just still doing CPR. And I don't know if there were any signs of life still or not, but you can only do CPR for so long for somebody to make it. And I don't know. So we load the boat, and it's bright sunshine. We load the boat. There's a storm on the other side of the lake, because like I said, this is a huge lake. And we make it back to the house. We're sitting here for a little while. We dried the boat off, wiped it all down. And it's probably another 20 minutes before the ambulance goes by. So I have no idea if this lady survived or not. I can't imagine how she could at that point, based off the conditions that I saw in just a minute or two. The second person that was struck refused treatment. So I don't know. I don't have any answers, but I do know this. A fun weekend on the lake in an instant changed. And probably we just witnessed someone die 150 feet from us in an instant. They were playing a game and instantly gone. And the friend that was right next to her, it knocked him down, and he stood up and refused treatment. Did we make some poor decisions in staying on the lake too long? I don't know. Maybe. At the time, it didn't feel like it, because when you look at the sky and you look at the radar, it didn't look that bad. It didn't look bad at all. And then within minutes, it exploded. I guess it caught that moisture from the lake. I don't know. And then it stalled for like 2 hours. It rained over the lake for about 2 hours. And I feel, I don't know how to feel. I feel very blessed right now. And last night, I think everyone was just a little bit in shock, because when that lightning hit, I promise you, well, we felt it. In a downpouring rain, everything's wet.
Yeah, 3 of us adults were in the water, and we felt it.
Absolutely.
We felt it. It was weird. It took me a second to grasp what I just felt. It didn't hurt, but it was just this weird feeling. Mm-hmm. And then we're getting out and getting on the boat, and then we turn and look, and chaos. Yeah. And that's when we got scared. I feel like that's when we were like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Somebody just got hit by lightning right next to us. I mean, right next to us. And there's, like I said, there's hundreds of people around. And it just kind of turns to chaos in an instant. And that's a whole other side of things. But just the simple fact of our kids were right there. Yeah. And our whole family was right there. And it didn't hit us. It didn't hit us. But it was close enough to scare the life out of us. I promise you that. And that was an experience on the lake that I never dreamed my family would see. Mm-hmm. Storms are dangerous. Everybody knows that. It didn't feel like a dangerous situation until it was too late. Yeah. And that's life. You can get on us for not paying attention to the weather, but we were trying to pay attention to the weather. But it just goes to show, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and you have no control over that. Yeah, people can be reckless and make poor decisions, but this person, yeah, she was probably in the wrong spot on an island out in the middle of a lake, during the storm when the lightning came in. I don't think they were paying any attention to it. We were trying to stay as low as we could and scared. And they were up on the island still playing games, and lightning's going to hit the highest point. I get it, but it could have hit anybody. It could have hit all of us. It could have killed a lot of people, and it's scary. So when it's your time to go, you just don't have any control over that, I think. And I don't know.
It made the rest of the day a little, I don't know. You're just like, for sure.
You think? Just a little bit?
I do want to say, obviously, we've been together for 20 years, and I always feel the safest with you. And I know that you're always going to make the best decision for us and whoever is with us. And sometimes, that's a heavy burden. I don't want to cry right now.
Well, even when we made it back to the dock yesterday, because there's a lot going on right there at the dock, and we're sitting in an area in the water that's calm. It's blue sky above us. There's a storm miles off to the side. DJ was like, well, do we just stay out here?
I mean, we talked about it. We were like, and we pulled up the radar, and it didn't look like it was even coming to that portion of the lake. And so I was like, well, maybe if we go that way, because it's
get away from the
storm, the kids can surf some more, because only 2 of the 4 kids got to surf, and we had a whole rest of the afternoon planned, and we weren't ready to leave, but it was like we just needed a second for sure.
And by that time, let me say this: there was no lightning in the area.
No,
the lightning part of the storm blew in, and it lightning like crazy for probably 15 minutes, and then there was not another lightning strike within anywhere that we could see or hear or anything. Yeah. So we're not saying we were making a reckless decision. DJ was going to make a reckless decision and stay out there in the lightning storm.
Yeah, don't twist that, please. That is not.
But it was chaos at our boat ramp.
Yeah.
Understandably, and you could go a couple more miles opposite direction of the storm, and it was clear blue sky and nothing going on. But in my heart, I was like, I can't, there's no way.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't even use the dock. I swam to shore and got around all the emergency traffic, and we loaded the boat and came back to the house. And it was a good thing we did, because then the storm switched again. It moved and ended up coming this way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't know what my point is in this, and other than life can change in an instant. Cherish every moment. Love your family, love your kids. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you like them. Tell them how much you appreciate them, because you just never know. Car accidents happen every day. Lightning strikes. Holy moly. I'd never thought I'd be in a position with my whole family, other than Weston here, but with my family, to where we were that close to a tragic situation in an instant. I mean, within minutes, it went from a cool, calm, collected, it might sprinkle a little while, to we could die. We could absolutely die. And if we try to take off now and go across the lake, we're putting everybody in danger even more. One boat out in the middle of a lake with 3-4 foot tall waves in a storm was not a good idea. But we made it. We survived. Nobody in our group was injured. But I do have to live with the fact that I put my family in a situation where my kids witnessed someone lose their life. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
I feel like it's in our nature to want to put them in a bubble. You can't do that, for sure. And we aren't going to live our life scared of the what ifs, because then we would be in a bubble. But we might make different choices in the future.
Try.
I mean, try.
We're going to try.
Yeah.
We've definitely learned some lessons in this thing.
Yeah.
there was a slight chance of rain in the evening.
I think we will just definitely be a lot more cautious. When we see a dark cloud, we might just go. We might just go.
And we've been around, the Gulf and the ocean and all that long enough to know that storms out over open water around the Gulf of Mexico don't look like anything, and then they just explode and pop up and then they're gone. I just never really equated that to happening on this lake, because our home lake where we live is much smaller. I think it's like a 10,000 acre lake, and storms don't do that. Mm-mm. They just blow over. I mean, we've been on our lake many times. You can see storms in the distance. Houston and I fish with storms coming in. As long as there's no lightning, I don't worry too much about it. But it can all change in an instant. What was meant to be a happy, good time video, a happy, good time weekend, turned into a tragedy real fast. And a very scary situation. So I wanted to share it with you guys. I don't hold back. I don't keep secrets too much. But this is one of those things that just shook me. It rattled me. And it still has me rattled, because it could have been one of my kids. It could have been both of my kids. It could have been all of us. If it hit our boat, it could have been all of us.
I mean, it wasn't probably 20 or 30 minutes before that, our boys had gone out and just like walked around. Like, they weren't playing ball up there, but they just walked around on the sand. Mm-hmm. And then
in that spot,
like we were watching them, they were right there. And then they came back, in the water with us or whatever. But yeah, they were just out there before the storm came.
Yeah,
it's just scary to think about, because you just don't know.
Yep.
And I promise, her and her friends didn't go to the lake yesterday thinking anything was gonna be different.
No.
They were just going to have fun and be on the lake. And whoever her family is, just breaks my heart.
Yep, it does. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up and clean up this house, pack up, load up, and head home. We've been here for a couple days. And DJ's sister's at the house with all of our animal shenanigans. I think Charlie chased her around the pasture the other day. Charlie doesn't like intruders or new faces, new people. So Katie was down there, and DJ's stepdad Kevin was there. He came down to give Maggie a shot, because we took Maggie to the vet the other day. And when you start messing with any animal in the pen that Charlie's in, he gets very protective. And I think Kevin had to wrestle Charlie just a little bit.
Said he was chest bumping him.
Yeah,
Charlie was chest bumping my dad.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
So we got to go home and settle all the shenanigans there too, I guess. But anyways, we're going to wrap this thing up and sit around and be thankful, I guess.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Woof. Woof.
Woof.
Woof. What a weekend.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't even know how to end this thing. Do something today to make somebody smile. Because you never know. It might be their last day on this earth.
Yeah.
You never know.
Never know.
Sorry for the heavy-hearted video.
Yeah.
And
it was not the intent when we started it.
No. We do love the lake. We do love the lake house. We love the boat. And it's not even, I know some folks get on us about the stuff, but it's about the moments. It's about the family and the friends. It's about the time we spend together with our family and our friends here and on the water and sharing experiences. It doesn't have to be a lake house or a boat. It happens with us at the creek or wherever, but right now in this phase in our life, that's where we're at. The boat, the lake house is bringing us closer and closer, especially with Emily starting her senior year of high school in a week and a half.
That's a whole different video.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of tears to come over that one. So, whoosh, woosah. We'll see you on the next video.